It's great Ace Attorney time. It's time to play more of the funny, silly teleporter case that I am very much enjoying. Let me close this video I was watching, and open my dashboard on here. Stream manager, do 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 do. I've been playing the Shovel Knight King of Cards DLC lately, and the music from it is stuck in my head. It's like that DLC came out back in like 2019. I just never got around to playing it. Very good, very much like it. Might make a video on it. Thinking about making a video on it. But that's not relevant today. Today we're playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. And last time we were faced with a very challenging decision on how we were going to handle our case with our client. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Unproportioned autosave feature. Yeah, I know. Do 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 do. Continue. So yeah, we're on the second part. We're on trial part 2 of case 3 of the second Great Ace Attorney game. There's several different elements involved: teleporters, funny accent characters, and now we're so basically, to give a bit of a recap in case you weren't here last time, I am faced with a choice. My client made a teleporter machine that blew up and killed somebody, allegedly. And so basically, we're trying to prove that he didn't kill this person. But he wants us, our client asked us to prove to him, or our client asked us to prove in the court, not to prove to him, that his invention is a success. Basically, there's this law that if he gets convicted, like it needed to be an accident, because if it's an accident, or if his invention is revealed to be like false, it'll be torn apart for investigation, and he doesn't want that. So our client asked us to ensure that his machine was safe. His instantaneous kinesis machine, as they describe it. Now, our conflict is that in order to secure an innocent verdict, we kind of need to disprove his instantaneous kinesis theory. Like our oh wait, I haven't shared the stream link yet. I knew I was forgetting something. Hold on. Copy. I'll keep talking on it. In order to prove our client innocent, we may need to throw his machine under the bus. But does he want that? Is the question. So without further ado, we need to decide, do we want to honor our client's request or prove him innocent? And I genuinely don't know which one to choose. I don't know which one the game wants me to choose. I mean, I want to solve the mystery. I feel like there's a killer that needs to be found here, and that should supersede my client's wishes, but technically, a defense attorney's primary goal should be to fulfill their client's wishes. And my client is literally saying he committed the murder right now to avoid his machine being destroyed, by the way. So a very tough situation. I should have done this before I started the stream, but I'm going to refill my water bottle real quick. I'll be right back. Let viewers roll in real quickly. Need to put my headset on first. The defense asserts that the defendant's instantaneous kinesis machine was in fact a proper scientific invention or a conjuring trick. Genuinely do not know which one to choose. There's no escape here. I have to make a choice, but it's an impossible one. I have to give up on something. But what? I don't know what to choose. This is a tricky one. I was hoping to turn to the chat for this one. Hey, chat! Wait, can't you make, like, polls? I'm gonna let the one viewer who is here. Can I make a poll for the one viewer that is here? You get to decide what I pick. Not that... Okay, I say that, there's definitely a right answer. This isn't like a choose-your-own-path kind of game. So there's definitely a right answer and a wrong one. I want to know what happened. Okay, the wording, too. A conjuring trick. I don't think the defendant's machine... A conjuring trick implies that he intended the machine to be a trick. I don't... Actually, I think the choice is fairly obvious looking at the wording. Regardless of how it may have been used, and regardless of the murder here, I think his machine was, in fact, a proper scientific invention. At least, as he crafted it and drafted it and was hoping it be built as. Like, what I'm saying is my client is not in on the bit. That's what I'm saying here. Ah! No! It won't even let me pick that one! What must I give up? Oh. Oh, it's not letting me pick anything. Okay. What must I give up on? Is not the question. It's what can I protect? Ah! I'm hallucinating. I'm hallucinating, dude. Why is she here? She's supposed to be in Japan. Hello again, Mr. Naruhodo. It's been far too long. Susato-san? But what are you? Hiya! Oh my god, Susato takedown. What? What's happening? My first Susato takedown in 6 months. Don't sound too excited, buddy. There'll be time to talk later, Mr. Naruhodo. For now, we must concentrate on the task at hand. How did she get in here without me noticing? She just like appeared. She just like appeared next to me. Professor Hairbrain. Ah, yes. Yesterday you told me that science is the pursuit of truth. Well, my job is to pursue the truth too. Yes, of course. And personally, I believe that you didn't stab Mr. Asman. I think you've come to realize something yourself too, haven't you? That your experiment and the machine you built with the victim are questionable. The truth behind that is what we must both pursue now. Okay, I don't... That was a Danganronpa character scream, is what that was. Like, that's like Hifumi. This guy goes... Hairbrain is like... I go back and forth between, like, full kook ball with this dude and just kind of, like, a little kooky. The kook levels are all over the place. Is that a bad... Is kook a... The more I say kook, the more I'm like, It sounds slur-esque. So, you finally opened your eyes. What? And as for you, Albert, you can't ignore this any longer. Having heard my learned friend's assertion, don't you have something to say? Barack Obama. It's a weird night, I think. I think it's a weird night tonight. Lord Von Zeeks? Gosh, I've never heard him speak that way before. Like, sternly? In truth, there is one thing. Something I've remembered that's of relevance. What? On the day it happened, just before I began the experiment, I saw a man near the stage. A man holding that crossbow. I beg your pardon? Professor, did the man have any distinguishing features? What did he look like? Taller than me, and thinner than me, with straight hair, straighter and wider than mine. Let me see. One less lens than me, too. A monocle. A rather stylish black monocle. Monocle. But one thing in particular, monocles are funny to me. Do people wear monocles, like, unironically? I feel like they don't. I feel like monocles are like a funny accessory to make you look like a silly guy. Like a funny, silly monocle. And then you wear it with a top hat, and you talk like this. But one thing in particular will help to positively identify the man. You see, I know him very well. After all, he's the engineer who built my invention. What? Okay, I was thinking, because this photo, he's got that's not exactly a monocle. It's also, oh wait, no, the engineer. That's different than the person the guy who built the invention. Alright, so this was all a part of Odie Asmon's plan then. The guy who built the invention and the guy who financed it were in on this, like, scheme. Clearly, with a monocle. What? He built the machine? Ah, that's right. Mr. Asmon introduced him to me 1 year ago. He's a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. Enoch Drebber? What is that? Oh, what's the... Enoch Drebber? Do two of our jurors know Enoch Drebber? Does this name mean something? Members of the jury seem flustered. Not a name any scientist wishes to hear. The man's an abomination. Not a name any conjurer wishes to hear either. Who on earth is he? I'm afraid this isn't the first tale of this nature that I've heard in scientific circles in connection with that name. There's talk of other flamboyant experiments that turn out to be nothing but stage trickery in the end. So Enoch Drebler might be the mastermind behind all of this, then. Obviously, the rascal is after the government's research grant money. When magicians are in need of money, I have heard them resorting to these underhand tactics. Some acquaintances of mine with experience of such things have mentioned Enoch Drebber's name before. The man is both an engineer and a magician. Yes, we're dealing with an unparalleled confidence trickster. That's Enoch Drebber for you. When Enoch Drebber is sus! It's a silly night tonight, and it is a silly night tonight. I think I have a lot of pent-up energy. I took a long nap earlier. So it's true then. My invention. My great machine. It was just a grand illusion. It was just a dream. Considering what we've just heard about Mr. Drebber's character, I'm sorry to say that sounds increasingly likely. Even though no one else believed it. I wanted to. I wanted to believe that machine would function exactly as my hypothesis predicted. Which is why you were so opposed to it being investigated, I presume. I knew that if the machine was examined in detail, its construction would give away my hypothesis. Obviously, I didn't want that to happen, but at the same time, I knew that if it was found to be nothing more than a trick, a work of deception, then everything I'd worked towards, all my research, all my dreams, my whole life would be over. I was terrified at the prospect. So you really had no idea then, did you? About the true nature of the machine that was built. I never questioned anything. I didn't want to question it. It's entirely possible that Mr. Asmon and Mr. Drebber were working together to use you as a means of fraudulently acquiring research grant money. My experiment! My hypothesis! Very good, birds! When I announced my invention to the crowds that day, it was the finest moment of my career. Oh, hello, bot. Hi! I want to offer promotion of your channel, followers, viewers, chatbot. I think it's the dogehype.com message. I've seen this one before. No, I don't want to copy it. I want to delete it. There's an easier easier solution. I'll just open my stream manager up again. It's one of those only chat messages a bot kind of days, huh? That's sad. That may be the saddest thing I've ever said. The most, like, no viewer Andy thing I've ever said on a stream. I pulled all the levers and turned all the dials in exactly the way Drebber had described. When the smoke suddenly started billowing out, I panicked. I didn't know what was happening. But I really don't know what the whole illusion was made to work. I don't know anything anymore. Let me confirm one final point with you, Professor. Do you now consent to the prosecution submitting the necessary paperwork to release your invention from the protection afforded by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? Yes. Please go ahead. I'm very sorry. I feel like Von Zieks took this case to get the machine investigated. Like, he couldn't, like, the inventor wouldn't sign the paperwork, so he's like, I'm gonna, like, set things up so that you realize it's a fake. I don't know. Because there's no way I don't feel like Von Zieks thought the machine was real. He was proposing that it was real so we could disprove it. And we did. It would appear that we shall have to suspend proceedings for the remainder of the day now. Lord Von Zieks? My lord? The court has newly been made aware of another party whose involvement in this matter is critical. Yes, Mr. Drebber. Gather information about the man. If possible, I should like him served with a subpoena. With pleasure, my lord. Now, counsel for the defense. Yes, my lord? When we reconvene, I shall be looking for one thing and one thing alone. Evidence that the defendant is innocent of the crime for which he presently stands accused. I understand. Good. In that case, this court is adjourned until tomorrow morning. I'm glad that this second game is doing the adjournment investigation periods in the middle of the trial. Like, trial, investigation, trial. Like, the investigation breaks. Because the first game didn't have the breaks. It was like, all the trial had to be in one day. And that was, like, an interesting experiment. But it led to some very long-feeling trials, and also some kind of, like, contrived situations they had to create to keep you in the courtroom, discovering new information, without leaving to go investigate. Like, there's so many times in the first Great Ace Attorney game where you don't have the info you need, and then a jury member or a random NPC shows up and gives you something you need to, like, follow a new line of questioning. And, like, it's situations that would be solved if you could just go investigate another day. Like the summoning of Egbert Benedict in Case 5 of the first game. You have to get a jury member who knows the man to, like, identify him by his real name. It's a whole, like, thing. But if you go investigate, I don't know, it just helps pacing. It helps pacing for the streams, and it helps pacing for the case. Like, we're not going to have any 6-hour-long mega streams of this game, because I'm not going to think, oh, I have an hour of trial left, and then actually have 6 hours of trial left. It's nice, it's good. Mr. Naruhodo! Yes? I'm so sorry! I was wrong. You were right. I tricked you. You trusted me. I dragged you into my mess. Oh, how did it ever come to this? I'm so sorry! This guy's funny, but he kind of just feels like Scientist Soseki. I don't know if there's enough, like, just, like, Albert Hairbrain and Soseki Natsume are very similar Like, they're kind of both the, like, scatterbrained... Like, that kind of client. I don't know. It's just, like, noises, but that's how I describe him. What are you saying? Did you really have no idea, Professor? About what Mr. Drebber was really up to, I mean. What he was really constructing? Naturally! That machine was the embodiment of my hypothesis! All of my hopes and dreams! Go on! I need to stop. He was not this feral last time. I had complete faith in it. Alright, in that case, I won't say anymore. Now, sadly, the murder accusation against you still stands. So we must do as much investigation as we can before the trial resumes tomorrow. Oh well, thank you for doing so much for me. Ooh woo! Ooh woo! Water. Water! I'm so sorry for arriving late this morning, Mr. Naruhodo. Arriving late? Didn't you receive my postcard? I wanted to let you know when I'd arrive. Postcard? What postcard? I hid it from you, Runo, so it would be a surprise. Well, did it work? I was surprised, all right. Especially when she threw me to the ground. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I was just so happy to see you again that it sort of slipped out. Maybe we could stick to more traditional displays of emotion in the future? Susie's train was late into London Victoria this morning, you see. But we made the coachman really whip the horse's heart so she didn't miss the whole trial. I was watching from the gallery for a while, but in the end, I'm afraid I couldn't contain myself. Well, I'm glad you didn't. Oh. Having you at my side in court gives me the strength I need to win. I mean, really, I kind of just gave me like an ending piece, but okay. I'm delighted to see you back in London. I hope I can continue to be of service to you. Of course. So, what's brought you back? Did Professor Mikotoba not protest? Let's save all that conversation for when we're back at home, shall we? You know, I've made one of my most special blends ever for this special occasion. Oh, Iris, how wonderful. I can't wait. Susato! She's back. Susato-san was back in London. It's hard to describe how happy that made me feel at the time. But despite my elation, our tale was about to take yet another extraordinary turn. The classic to be continued 20 minutes after I start stream. It's been a consistent thing this case where I stop at a weird cliffhanger spot 20 minutes before the to be continued text, and then in the next stream I just like push forward through it. Investigation Part 2. In fairness, I didn't really know if what they did with the last case, where there was 2 days of investigation, was going to be like a regular thing in this game, or... Because there was never really, like... The first game made it sound like all trials had to be done in a day. But I guess that's not the case if the judge decrees that there's like a new witness that needs to be found or new evidence that needs to be collected. He just never did that in the first game. He maybe should have, but he didn't, so... 23rd October, 2:41 p.m. Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. Oh, this room. It's been too long. Hasn't changed in the slightest, though. It's been some 6 months, hasn't it? That's a long time for things to stay so. Why am I, like... I feel like I'm, like, on the edge of a burp a lot. I don't know. I don't know, man. That's a long time for things to stay so... familiar. I didn't know when you might return, and I wanted everything to be as you'd left it. But it has been some 6 months, it's true. So is your father all right, Susie? What happened? My father? Yes, Professor Mikotoba. I mean, it was half a year ago, but that's why you went back to Japan. Because of the telegram you received saying he'd fallen ill with a very high fever for some unknown reason. That's right. So I was surprised to learn you'd be coming back so soon. Surprised but happy. I think I wrote about it in my letter to you. That it was all a trick. My father is in fine health, and I'm obviously very relieved about that. Well, we're all delighted to have you back. It was quite by accident that I've been able to return to Europe, actually. It's because of a very grand conference called the International Forensic Science Symposium. The International Forensic... That's the same symposium Lord Strongheart mentioned. Anyway, I've arrived safe and sound, and all that matters is that I'm here now. After all, I haven't yet fulfilled my promise to you, Iris. Oh! You must tell us everything that happened while you were back in Japan. Yes, of course, I shall. And there's one other thing. Something you wrote in your letter that particularly grabbed my attention. About, you know, about Cosmo. Yeah, now that she's back, it's time to do, like, lore catch-up. We're gonna, like, pause this and pause the investigation of this case for a minute to do, like, story lore talk. I know. I'll tell you all that I can. Wow, there's a lot of text. Okay. What about Kazuma? That was what I asked about first, so. After my friend Ray's trial, the reporter who actually killed Miss Brett said something very strange. I know the truth! I know you had a hand in what went on! I don't remember what this guy's voice was. In that visiting student's fate! Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England, that he died on that steamship, and they'll never... Obviously, I couldn't ask him to elaborate at the time. But later, I visited the man in his prison cell. Oh, we didn't see this scene. What is this? What did you learn? This wasn't a scene we played in the first case. After he died on the voyage to Great Britain, his body should have been unladen in the port of Hong Kong and passed into the care of the consulate staff there. Should have been? Well, it turns out, his body never arrived. Oh, his body never arrived, huh? Interesting. Interesting. You know what they say? No body, no crime. And in this case, that would be no body, no death? Maybe? I don't know. Interesting. It just disappeared. What? Kazuma's body vanished? Our government tried to cover the fact up, it seems. They erected a grave on the cliffs by our hometown. Except, Kazuma-sama isn't there. Oh, the grave she was visiting him at in the first case. She's not actually there. Did Professor Mikotoba know about this? Yes, it would seem that he did. But he didn't tell me. They're still investigating what happened. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. What is this acute feeling of apprehension I have all of a sudden? The Kazuma mystery. Thinking back now, some of the things that happened on the SS Burya were definitely strange. I mean, after he died, we never saw his body again, did we? Could it be? Could it be that he's actually still alive? Stop it, Mr. Naruhodo. That's what I was thinking, too. It's too much to bear. I don't know. I've... theories. There is a mystery man we have met in this case. A mystery body missing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is... Cast your mind back, Mr. Naruhodo. When Kazuma-sama was discovered, Mr. Sholmes was there, wasn't he? And he definitely examined the body. I remember it clearly. Ah, you're right. So if Kazuma hadn't actually been dead at all, it would mean that Mr. Sholmes had lied to us. But But there's no reason why he would have possibly done such. Yeah, he didn't know who we were. He didn't know who Kazuma was either. So, the idea that he might still be alive somewhere. It wants to fill me with hope, but I can't let it. Because if it turns out not to be true. But also, why would they introduce this idea to us if it wasn't going to be true? Storytelling 101. If there's no body, there's no death. Always. Every time. I'm terrified of what it might do to me. Because if it turned out to not be true, I'd be back at the bottom of that awful pit of despair again. I know she's given the idea the thought it deserves. It's Susato-san we're talking about. I probably shouldn't push it now. Alright. Time for the other conversation topics. The less interesting ones. Back in Britain. When I first arrived back in Japan, I really thought I'd never be allowed to return to Britain. But curiously... okay, the other thing that splitting up the trial into 2 sections does is it lets things happen in the... Because, essentially, the way these cases are structured, the trial section... When you only have one trial section, that one trial section has to be the 3rd act of every case. Which means that every kind of, like, outside conversation like this, that isn't strictly trial-related, has to be shoehorned in either before the trial, after the trial, or somehow during a recess in the trial. It's much more awkward to... It's much easier to weave different aspects of the story together when you're not beholden to having the entire trial be, like, one segment. It was a cool idea for the first game, but I'm glad they kind of saw that it messed with the pacing of the writing and went back to normal with this case. The trial? Oh, yes. What about trials? Multiple sections of trials, huh? For the trial for the murder of Giselle Brett. Ooh, you dressed as a man then, didn't you? Weird wording. Oh, well, yes, since women are forbidden in the courtroom, I had no choice. Wow, amazing. I wish I'd seen it. Don't you, Runo? Yeah, I suppose so. I want to play at being a lawyer now. I could wear a false mustache, maybe. I don't think any mustache could hide the fact that you're just 10 years old, Iris. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you, Miss Susan. It's about the real reason why Professor Mikotoba summoned you back to Japan. You said in your letter it was something to do with that convict's loot we found in Mr. Not... Ah, yes. The Selden Roger One Piece. The very large dog collar with the bee emblem on it. It seems Mr. Natsume included a drawing of the collar in this report he submitted about his time in Britain. I understand that when Father saw the report, he turned as white as a sheet. Why would that be, then? Father came to Britain himself, of course, to study. It was some time ago now, but he stayed for 6 years. I can only imagine that something must have happened during that time. But if he refuses to tell me what it was, then I intend to find the answers for myself. And I've decided that I, for one, won't keep any more secrets. Didn't Von Zeke say he used to be friends with a Nipponese? I wonder if that's Professor Mikotoba. It's like it's all connected, somehow. To, like, an incident from years ago. Probably related to the professor killings that Sholmes mentioned in the last stream. It's a very meaningful look Susato-san's giving Iris. It's probably like the professor killing Von Zeke stuff is probably connected. It's like it's all connected. Mikotoba, the death of Watson, the Von Zeke stuff. My mind really blanked. Okay, Forensic Science Symposium. Lord Strongheart mentioned something about that symposium, too. I think he said that investigative authorities from 40 different countries would attend. Yes, and from Japan, my father and Judge... Yo, let's go! The Japanese judge guy! Return! Return! So that means whenever that happens, we're just gonna get all the characters here. I bet Hosonaga will be with them, too. The funny Japanese inspector, man. The funny Japanese inspector, man. Yes, and from Japan, my father and Judge Jigoku have been invited. Goku? Well, Professor Mikotoba is the leading expert in forensic medicine in our country, after all. But who's the other? A judge? His Excellency, Judge Shishiro Jigoku. You've met him, Mr. Naruhodo. He's the judge. He's the judge character for the Japanese cases. That terrible trial of yours, where you were accused of murder? He was the judge. It was Judge Jigoku who presided over that trial. He's a character now. If I'm perfectly honest, I would have been happy to only see that guy behind the bench. Never see him again in real life. Oh, well, anyway, as father was invited to the symposium, he agreed to me returning to Britain too. He won't actually arrive until next month, but, well, I couldn't wait. So I pleaded with him, and in the end, he agreed to me going on ahead. Yes, about the symposium. Seems as though Lord Strongheart has put an awful lot of work in to make it happen. It's obviously very important. I believe it is, yes. As I understand it, Lord Strongheart organized the entire event himself. I think he's hoping that by achieving exceptional results, he'll get the job of Attorney General. The most senior position in the British justice system. He's hoping to use his power to create the world's finest policing institution. That's what Father said, anyway. Apparently, it's Lord Strongheart's lifelong ambition. Does Professor Mikotoba know Lord Strongheart personally, then, I wonder? Actually, Lord Strongheart gave me a long speech all about this very subject yesterday. But I sort of lost the will to live early on and didn't really listen to much of it. How trying for you. I can't tell if that was sarcastic or Giselle Brett. The woman whose unforgivable actions ended in me being wrongly accused of a crime I didn't commit. The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, Giselle Brett. That's a name I won't forget as long as I live. The extraordinary thing is, though, it seems it's a name we should all forget. Sorry? Since the incident, our government's intelligence services have been investigating Miss Brett. But it turns out that an Englishwoman by the name of Giselle Brett didn't actually exist. Didn't exist? But how can that be? It was a pseudonym. Her real name was Shin, and she wasn't a visiting student either. That was a front. A front? Who on earth was she then? Miss A. Shin. Her name is literally all our intelligence services have been able to ascertain about her. A. Shin. Ashin? Nobody knows why or even how she came to be in Japan. It's a complete mystery. But that makes no sense. It's no easy task to be accepted as a foreign student anywhere. What could the woman have been up to? I'm afraid I really don't know. The only thing we can be sure of, she's probably a spy or some kind of shit. Like, that's why we got the end of the first game had these, Morse code names, secret code names. She's probably, a spy. This has, spy espionage shit going on in the background that we don't know about. It's kind of tying all this together. And now she's been killed, while all the questions surrounding her existence remain unanswered. I'm afraid so. A. Shin. Who on earth was she? Now I'm trying to remember when we, deciphered the Morse code in the 5th case. What were the names? Because there were some names that were deciphered in the code, and we recognized some of them, but not all of them. I wish I had, a better log of, which of those names were which, and whether her name could have been one of them. Why do I feel as though I've heard that name somewhere before? Maybe it was in the Morse code telegrams. I mean, I could go review my old stream VOD to figure out, but that's in the 6-hour long mega stream, and I don't feel like digging through that. About this paper, Miss Susato. Yes, it's all about the great exhibition. I was sorry that you were going to miss it when you were called back to Japan. So was I. I felt desperately unlucky. But here I am, back in London while it's underway. It's a dream come true. Perhaps you're not as unlucky as you thought then. Once we've helped Professor Hairbrain out of this terrible situation, we should all explore it together. And of course, we must invite the Professor's good friend, Lord Von Zeeks, as well. Your luck might not stretch that far. Mr. Sutter, do you see this? You're presenting something. Are you practicing your objections on me? Objection! Objection! No, it's objection. Objection! Miss Susato. I was watching my friend play this game, yesterday, 2 days ago, I don't remember. And she was giving, like, British voices to Ryunosuke and Susato, because that's what they have in the voice acting. I just feel weird, like, they're not British. They're not British. I'm not gonna give them Japanese accents, so... You know, it is what it is. Okay, well, it's probably... Okay, it won't let me move, so I guess I'll examine this. I mean, I haven't examined this space yet, I just don't know what could possibly be useful here. Shovel. Thinking back, that spade's been in here since we first moved in. I'm sure I've told you before, Mr. Naruhodo. It's not a spade, it's a shovel. Oh boy. Shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade. What? Spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. It's clearly a shovel. I don't... The great spade shovel... Like that, I don't... Is a spade a real thing? This is not like the... Okay, it's funny that they This is this game's version of the ladder step ladder thing, because look what's back here. Literally a ladder. Literally, they could have done the ladder step ladder bit with this, but... You see? I've been keeping my desk beautifully covered in papers, as always. You really must tidy it up, Mr. Naruhodo. No more excuses. This is me with my room. You really must unpack your boxes from moving back in with your parents 6 months ago. There's no excuse. Shut up. Stop it. Is there somebody over here? Okay, yeah, I'm like, there's gotta be somebody else to talk to. This is like... Is there a fish tank over there? Why is there a fish tank? It must be about a year ago now. I read a really long story based on some of my father's old notes. It's about one of Hurley's greatest exploits. I called it The Hound of the Baskervilles. But then Mr. Sholmes forbade you from publishing it, and put the manuscript somewhere nobody could get their hands on. Now, why are we talking about this right now? Why are we recapping The Hound of the Baskerville incident? For some reason... You knew the title of it, didn't you, Susie? That's right. I literally watched this part when I was watching my friend play a couple days ago. Like, this exact scene from the first game, the 5th case. Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it. And you wouldn't tell me how you'd come to know it. Yes, but I made you a promise that I would explain one day, didn't I? I think it's time. It's the 2nd game, so we've now written how she knows this information. No more teasing. It was completely by accident that I came to know the title of your manuscript, Iris. It was a short while before we left Japan. I was cleaning Father's study, and I saw something on his writing desk. A large box of papers. There was a label affixed to the box that was written in English. It read, The Hound of the Baskervilles. What? My Baskerville story? Of course, I had no idea what it was at the time, but Father came in and... Susato, what are you doing? Oh, Father. Did you look at those papers? No, I simply read the label, that's all. Well, put it out of your mind. Sorry? Forget that you ever saw it, and certainly don't tell anybody else about this. Do you want... That's more suspicious than if he just didn't say anything. She probably would have forgotten it. What was Iris's manuscript doing in Japan? I have no idea. But when I heard Iris mention the word Baskerville that day, the title just slipped out. I would never have guessed that it was an unpublished account of one of Mr. Sholmes' exploits. When I returned to Japan, I asked Father to explain, but he refused to answer any of my questions, and there was no sign of the big box in his office. Professor Mikotoba is very coy with information. I've no doubt that Father has a very good reason for being so secretive about it, but still, I made up my mind to explain myself to both of you. Well, thank you for being so honest, Susie. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm ready to start investigating if you are. Yep, let's go. Iris told me about the Waxwork Museum. Can we go to the Waxwork Museum? I would think our first port of call should be to investigate this Mr. Drebber, Ryunosuke. I know you want to see the Waxwork Museum girl, but the engineer responsible for building the elaborate machine that was used. Yeah, we need to investigate him. Jesus, why am I like... My throat's all like... Yes, a conjurer of sorts, by the sound of it, well known in the fields of science and magic. Then we need to go and arrest him. Well, yes. He must know the truth behind this case, so I agree we really do need to find this man. Have you seen this man? Sounds like it's a case of tracking someone down, which is a job for the police. Or a great detective. Are we supposed to guess who she might be thinking of? Sholmes. Who else would it be? Or it's her. I'm going to Brixton Road shortly for the herb market. But let me know later how you get on. Okay, she keeps like leaving us to do random stuff. Like what? That was a little abrupt. The pull of the herb market must be... She's gonna go smoke weed. Smoke weed every day. A new location has been added. Ooh. What's the new location? I can't go to the prosecutor's office. Spearman stage, is this what they meant? Oh god, Gina. Puppy! I had no idea there were so many people in the world. I know what you mean. It's really packed here today. It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds to this point. Has it? Shut my brain down, so I didn't really notice, to be honest. Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Mr. Naruhodo. There you are. And a feeling you lot will be showing your mugs before long? Yeah, it's this guy. Gregson. Inspector Gregson. I see you're hard at work as usual. Warm greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since last we met. What? I feel like I'm doing his voice wrong. I don't know. It feels weird. My mouth doesn't feel right. What's with all the ceremony? We just saw each other in court this morning. Not you, Sunshine. The gentlewoman so loyally at your side. Oh. Why, thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice. He might be a bit rough around the edges, but he's still a proper English gentleman at heart. I suppose. As you probably guessed, we were hoping to investigate the scene some more. Right? Well, that's the young trainee's domain. Oi! Get over here, Gina! Oh, she's got a puppy. I'm busy playing with a puppy. Gina? She's a police officer now? Amazing, isn't it? She's a good kid, actually. Heart's in the right place, anyway. She's got the detection bug, if you ask me. Yup. Think she'll follow in my footsteps nicely. What do you mean? I'm being transferred. It's time for me to say toodaloo to London. Oh no, really? That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. Where are you going to be posted then? We'll come to see how you're getting along. Dang it, his chips make me hungry. I've Pavloved myself into being like, oh, chips? Oh, Grayson? Oh, pretzels? I don't know. Ha-ha! Not naughty. Ha-ha! Ha-ha! Not how he... You're welcome to try if you don't mind a trip to France, that is. To France? I'll be working in the Paris Police Prefecture. Should be right up my alley. But France? It's an entirely different country. Why would you be sent there? It's the way the adult world works, Sunshine. Don't go poking your nose in where it's not wanted. I'm intending to take the kid with me when I go. What? You're taking Gina to Paris? Well, I can't leave her here in London. Who knows what had become of her? Damn, okay. He's like the evolution of this dynamic from like him being like, oh, Gina the pickpocket, I'm gonna arrest her, to like, I'm gonna take her with me when I transfer to Paris. She's like they've got this like father-daughter thing going on. I did not expect. I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Naruhodo. I think he's worried about the Reaper. Yeah, she was a previous client of ours that the Reaper was prosecuting. Huh. It's like none of them believe Von Zieks is actually killing these people like a Reaper. But they do believe that like someone is. Or like something is, at least. I don't know, it's strange. The Reaper thing. The mystery of the Reaper. Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina, so don't go blabbing, you hear me? No, of course not. I've got to keep that diving diva safe and sound. Until all this is over, at least. Oi! Did you just call me a bloomin' diving diva again? So yeah, that, did you? Right, well, any questions about the scene, you can put them to my capable detective diva here. Alright, you're at the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now. I suppose I'd better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. Oh, I love Gina. Fun, what a fun character. Puppy, she's got a puppy now too. Isn't he great? Toby's his name. Toby? Oh. Oh, how delightful. He's absolutely adorable. Yes, the dog does seem lovely. But it's the not so lovely Inspector Gregson that's playing on my mind, to be honest. Toby the Dog. Hold on. Let's start with Toby the Dog. Where'd you find that little mutt then, Gina? Oi! Don't be so flaming rude, Odo. Slight overreaction, don't you think? He ain't no mutt, alright? Toby's, how did they put it? Oh yeah! A bona fide detective. Get it? Like a bona fide, but he's a bone, because he's a dog. Gotta send this. Toby the Dog. Oh wait, I hit autoplay. I didn't mean to do that. Giving him a proper title and everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby to you. More senior than Inspector Gregson, is he? It's so cute. She's got a little police dog. It's like way too like cute and small to be a police dog, though. I don't know. Yeah, police dogs. They have a wonderful sense of smell, after all. I have a very good sense of smell myself. I think we all smell. I can tell undergarments that have been freshly laundered from undergarments that. Why? This look is appropriate. What are you talking about? Ah, that's nothing compared to this little fella, Odo. Oh, really? According to what the boss said, once Toby here's got a good whiff of your drawers, we could chase that scent to the other side of the world. What? To the other side of the world? What? You mean he can swim? What is this conversation? Mr. Naruhodo, I think you may have missed the point. By a wide margin. I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill. I'm telling you, Odo, there's going to be more and more dogs doing their bit for the police in the future. Yes, I agree. Right, one of these days they'll be barking orders at us lot, not the other way around. Oh dear. Sorry, Gina, I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much. Gina is pro-furry. Gina is pro-furry. Whatever you think about that, Toby here is Britain's first police dog. I found him down the East End the other day. Someone had just chucked him out on the street. There you go. I knew she'd lifted him from somewhere. Oh, Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? To children and to animals. And now she's like back to stoic normal form. Gina, we were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like. Oh, that's alright, is it? I'm gonna be playing with my new friend here. Ah, yes, Toby. Woof! Toby, 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 Toby! Furries, let's go! Let's go! The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume? I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind. Sorry, you can't go up this house. Oh. It's like I told Odo yesterday. Even I ain't allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it? The special... The Special Dispensation for Scientific... I thought that his invention isn't under the Special Dispensation Act anymore. That's the one. That's why only them not are allowed to investigate. But I guess only the forensic people are still the only ones allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The forensic something? Forensic investigation. And I can't even say it. The forensic investigation team. Is that what you were thinking of? That's the one, yeah. Now that's the one. Now that's the one. But isn't it the case that the special dispensation has been lifted? I think so. I don't need to get it, to be truthful with you. You're still supposed to get permission from some bigwig or other, as far as I know. What was his name again? Lord Strange? Oh, I gotta go talk to Lord Strongheart to get permission to investigate the machine. Got it. Lord Strongheart, perhaps? Now that's the one! Now that's the one! Apparently, he's always watching the time or something. So without Lord Strongheart's express permission, we can't investigate on the stage. Okay, well, we'll have to go talk to him then. Today's trial. It was great, wasn't it? I had a right laugh. It was a new one on me, that. You know, being in court and not spending the whole time worrying I'm about to be found out. You did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you? Yeah, and Odo's made things hard for me every single time and all. Just doing my job, Gina. But watching someone else get in the neck is a lot of fun, actually. It was amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix. The dodgy professor is Mr. Naruhodo's client. Yes, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though. It's the boss I feel sorry for, sent off to do the impossible. What do you mean? He's supposed to arrest that other cove, ain't he? And in time for tomorrow and all. You know, the dodgy engineer. What's his name again? Mr. Drebber, you mean. Enoch Drebber. That's the one. Now that's the one. I don't know why I keep doing that. She keeps saying that's the one. What I'm quoting with that is the Game Theory Sans' Nest video where he's talking. It's the beginning and he's talking about like font sizes, and he's like Sans or something, I don't remember, and he goes, now that's the one, now that's the one. I don't know why I keep doing that. We're looking for a mysterious man in a black monocle, because he built a machine that was actually a trick to, like, get somebody launched. If you're still here watching the stream, Toby. Not Toby the dog in the game. I told my friend Toby about the dog, and he tapped in. He's putting too much on the boss, if you ask me. Says I'm giving him gut ache. It's giving him gut ache. I'm not giving him gut ache, am I? Oh dear, but I do wonder if that isn't actually all from the fried food. Too much carbs. All those pretzels. The engineer's whereabouts. So Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Enoch Drebber. I wonder if they've had any luck. He's really funny looking. Got two eyes what don't match. Stole a glimpse of a picture from him of him earlier. I mean, I didn't actually pinch it or nothing. The old devil's got a... Sorry, who? What? What are we talking? I didn't comprehend any of that. You know, that scouting reaper what's always glugging down glasses with a blood-red plonk? Plonk? The scouting glugging? I like a lot of the fun things she said there. Lord Van Zeeks? He's always at it for me, that cove. Don't know what he's always scouting about, mind. Probably would have been a pretty good boss, as it goes. She'd rather be the Reaper's apprentice than a detective's trainee? The way I see it. The choice is between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-glugging demigod? You're equally badly off with demigod? What? Oh, because Reaper and he's like, yeah, whatever. I suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of it like that. Gotta put that one to bed. What are we even talking about right now? Anyway, the point is, everyone at the yard's dead set on finding the fishy engineer. But there don't seem to be no clues to go on, so they're stuck. There's nothing that can lead us to Drebber at all. Okay. Gina, have a look at this photo. Look at this photograph! Oh, and every time I do, it makes me laugh. Oh, 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 that joke's so funny! Oh, 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 oh. I don't know. It's amazing looking down on everything from up there. I love high places, me. Really? If I'm honest, I can't stand looking down at the ground when I'm high up. I always have to look up. Shame. I wanted to show you what it's like, but there ain't no point now. Why not? If all you're gonna do is look up at the sky, I ain't gonna be able to look down on ya. With ya. Sorry. I mean, I don't look down on ya or nothing. If you don't want to do it, it's your choice. What? I don't think I'd ever go up in a balloon. But now I'm starting to think I might like... Why? What? I'm confused. Okay. Oh, kind of pointless. Alright, let's investigate. I like talking to Gina, but let's look at some clues. Here's the scorching on the ground that you mentioned. Yes, and there's what's left of the green balloon's envelope. All clear evidence of the balloon that exploded on the day of the incident. Poor Professor Hairbrain. I do feel sorry for him that his dreams have been shattered like this. Someone's well and truly burst his bubble, as it were. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. 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 Ouch. I'm a bad person. That's like, it's like when you make a like out of pocket joke and somebody's just like, that's not funny, and then everybody's like, I guess not. I guess like, oh, well, I guess I'm a bad person now. Ah, the Crystal Tower. I can't believe I'm seeing it in such close proximity with my own eyes. You've really been looking forward to the great exhibition, haven't you, Miss Susato? Oh, yes! When I found out that I had to return to Japan, I'm afraid I cursed my luck. But here you are, back in London, gazing up at the tower. Didn't we talk about this already? Can we go up there and look at where the body was? I'd like to be able to do that. That's not... The body isn't under the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Why can't I investigate that? What a shame that the symbolic landmark of the Great Exhibition has been damaged like that. Yes, unfortunately the birdcage crashed in the most prominent position possible. It's the gods giving us a warning, if you ask me. Man must travel under his own steam, and not cut corners with instantaneous kinesis. But imagine what might have happened if the birdcage had landed in a slightly different location. The death toll could have been far worse. So I think perhaps it was a blessing in disguise. I did say it was just a warning. Man must travel under his own steam, or next time bird cages will rain down on all of you. What is happening? Okay. There's a certain amount of like filler text I read when I click on these things before I'm just like, I don't care anymore. Flying balloon! If he starts talking about aliens again, we're mashing through all of this. I would be certain death if you found out. If you fell out. What? I'm sure they're perfectly safe. After all, they've been invented by some of the brightest minds in the world. Let's not forget that we know at least one has exploded. I'm sure there are other ways to fly. I did not mean to click back. I didn't even know pressing the right click. I didn't know pressing right click went back. Maybe that's how I come back down here after I go up. Maybe I just right click. Oi! That's off limits up there. Oh, right. I can't go up there until I've talked to Strongheart. Try to sneak past me again and I'll stuff your gob full of the boss's fish and chips. Yes, please. I love pretzels. Pretzels. Alright, I have to talk to Strongheart before I can investigate that. So let's go back to the Lord Chief Justice's office. Oh, is that Enoch Drebber? Long hair, tall, white hair. Is that him? Is that the guy? Is that the guy we're looking for? I've never seen her before. Oh, that's a her. Okay, never mind. I guess that's not Enoch Drebber. Unless Enoch Drebber is a woman. Ah, a young champion of the court. You had some success this morning, I understand. And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. Oh, you mean because of Harebrain's experiment? Sham science being demonstrated at London's great exhibition. The country's been made to look foolish, and now politicians are scrabbling to respond. Lord Von Zeeks is in Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing. I like that characters in this game do things outside of us. Like, there's a whole political, there's a whole political thriller going on in the background of our silly Ace Attorney game. I don't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is your responsibility. The government is entitled to blame for having been taken in. A special dispensation that prevents investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensic team will move in and deal with that scrap metal in no time. It's scrap metal now, is it? Until later then, Lord Strongheart. This lady looks suspicious. This matches the description of Enoch Drebber in every way except being a woman. Until later then, Lord Strongheart. Yes, thank you. I'll be important in a later case, probably. Who was that? That was Dr. Courtney Scythe, Scotland Yard's esteemed... Oh, her... Okay, no. Her name's on one of the evidence pieces. The coroner's report here. I remember thinking it was odd that they had the coroner's name on the report. Like, Coroner Courtney Scythe. Like, I remember thinking that was weird that they bothered to, like, include her name. Ah, Ultimate Chicken Horse. I see it. That was Toby. Toby the Dog is playing Ultimate Chicken Horse. That dog was very briefly on screen, not super prominent. She's leading the forensic investigation team's handling of this case. She was just delivering her report about the victim, in fact. Oh, I see. About Mr. Asman. Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to reevaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she concluded. If you want to know, you'll have to ask her directly. Oh, yeah. I knew when they gave the coroner a name on that report. I'm like, we're going to meet that person later? Okay. So I'll go talk to them at some point. This is a bigger investigation than I thought. We may have, like, I was thinking we had, like this stream, then the next stream left. We may need, like, 2 more streams. I guess it depends on how long I go tonight, but I don't see myself going for much longer than, like, 2 hours. I'm kind of... I don't know. I mean, I have energy, but I don't know. We'll see. Now, what were you here to see me about? I can give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time. Okay, he's actually in a rush again. He's not running spectacularly late anymore. What exactly is the forensic investigation team that you mentioned before? The British Empire's police force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it's imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first created the forensic investigation team 1 year ago now. Unofficially, of course, to pave the way. Goodness, a year ago? At the next month's symposium, I intend to present the results of their work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale division. And once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine. And criminals will suffer dearly. What do you mean? For too long, those scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. But London's scum is about to be rounded up and burnt in the fires of hell. I intend to see to it personally. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known, to protect our honor and our future. I don't know if this guy's a villain or not, but he's definitely an imperialist. Dr. Scythe is an extremely reliable coroner. Ignore the pun of her name where it sounds like the weapon that is used to kill people. When I officially establish the forensics division at Scotland Yard, she will run it as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of the symposium, Miss Mikotoba.
Oh, yes, my lord?
Your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan.
Yes, that's right.
Are you acquainted, Lord Stronger? With Professor Mikotoba, I mean. It was many years ago now, but yes. I remember Dr. Mikotoba very well. Dr. Mikotoba. Doctor! I don't even... my brain tried to run like 5 different joke programs at the same point, and I just ended up going, Doctor! Great job, man. Great job. Doctor, give me the news. That was one of them. The other one was like, I don't know, some kind of Doctor Who joke that didn't get finished. If my memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student. And now my brain just had the intrusive thought of Dr. Sus, which I'm going to move past now because it's not funny.
It was the year I was born. So yes, 16 years ago, in fact.
I forget Susaru was 16. Mikotoba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jigoku accompanied him as a young promise. Oh wow, the more Jigoku lore. Okay. So Judge Jigoku has been here before too. What is it? Did he just say oh, the punctiousness and politeness. I see this is why we're not going for more than like 2 hours, because the brain rot is setting in. The punctiousness and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way. With the way this has been going, we'll probably end up stopping 20 minutes before the investigation section is over, and like 20 minutes before the next to be continued, like we have been for the last like 3 streams. Dr. Mikotoba studied forensics at one of London's large hospitals. St. Sinners, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Scythe was also there then, as it happens. St. Sinners. That's a terrible name for a...
Then Dr. Scythe knows my father, does she?
She was a young medical assistant at the time, so I doubt their crossed regularly. But I've no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikotoba was here studying his subject for some 6 years in total. 6 years? It's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it?
I lived with my grandmother in those years.
So he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years.
It was a rather turbulent time at home.
Oh.
Perhaps father wanted a reason to get away.
What do you mean? Why? Well, clearly something was going... family stuff that I don't need to know about. Ryunosuke can be a little overly nosy sometimes. I wanted to ask you about Lord Von Zeeks, actually. I heard that his older brother was killed some years ago by a mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is that right? Your Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well. Yes. And you could say it was that very incident that gave rise to the Reaper. What? Why? When his brother, Clint Von Zeeks, was murdered, it was just after young Barak had graduated from the University of London and become a prosecutor. When obvious criminals who managed to evade conviction in court started disappearing, rumors quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that wherever Barak Von Zeeks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind.
Oh my word.
So, Lord Von Zeeks isn't the Reaper. It's the ghost of his brother? I don't know. It's in theory. The ghosts aren't real. Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles. I don't know why they had a fade to black there. Yeah, the Fate Black reminded me. Lord Strongheart. It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine. The thing I actually came to talk to you about. We'd like your permission to examine the remains, if possible. Are you well versed in science, then? Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all. I was barely aware of science as a whole. You're not really selling yourself, man. Well, the special dispensation legally preventing investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. Sykes' team will begin their own investigation. But I suppose until then, there's no harm in you looking at the wreckage, as long as you touch nothing. Thank you. Being able to look at it is better than nothing. Yeah, it's what we were able to do yesterday. Nothing's really changed. Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls.
We are extremely sorry to have troubled you when you are so busy, my lord.
I have important matters to attend to in preparation for the symposium, you understand. I'm not going to say goodbye. I'm gone now. Alright. New location has been added. Just probably the coroner's office, I'm guessing. Yeah, the forensics laboratory. Dr. Scythe. More like Dr. Sus! There we go. Now it's an actual joke. I mean, it's still not funny, but I believe this is Dr. Scythe. Dr. Sus!
It looks as though the doctor isn't here.
We're here now, so we may as well do some sightseeing, don't you think? This room is creepy. Why are there skeletons there? Why is there a skull in a jar? Why is there a skull in a jar up here? Look at all the bottles and the shelves in these cabinets. What an assortment of chemicals.
Those ones are here labeled highly toxic.
Ugh, that's worrying, because there are also things that look like salt and pepper shakers in there.
Oh, yes, and they actually say salt and pepper on them. The doctor probably spends a lot of time in this room, I suppose. Perhaps she has meal here sometimes.
This place is sus. Is that an owl? Why is there an owl?
That looks like an owl and a crow up there.
I know. They haven't even twitched since we came in here.
They're taxidermy, Naruhodo.
Ugh, I was afraid you were going to say that. I've been trying very hard to... Yeah, he probably finds taxidermy creepy the same way he finds wax figures creepy.
Yes, I think perhaps you were wise to put something like your Daruma doll on display in the office instead.
Skeleton. Why is there a skeleton? The cherry wood is... Why am I just looking at the display case? Bro, there's a skeleton.
Do you have nothing to say about the skeleton inside, Mr. Naruhodo?
Mrs. Sato, can't you tell I'm trying very hard to avoid talking about the terrifying contents of the case? It's how I cope! Copium! Copium!
I suppose this is Dr. Scythe's desk.
Ugh, I would not like to work in a place like this.
It's very tidy, though, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Imagine how efficiently she must work.
The lighting is poor, which is bad for the eyes, and the chemical smell can't be good for you. Not to mention the skeleton watching over you as you work. Ugh, definitely bad for the nerves.
Well, yes, those are valid concerns, I suppose.
I can just about cope with a one-eyed Daruma doll watching over me, but that's all. The box of tools. I'm surprised that the operation table doesn't proc anything.
Seeing the large tome that's open on the desk does make me wonder, though. How can anybody concentrate on the bookwork with this acrid odor of chemicals in the air?
You either have to have a cast iron constitution or a really terrible sense of smell. I don't think she's gonna come. We're probably gonna have to leave and then come back here later to talk to her. But now we've like clicked on stuff, all the creepy stuff.
Father had jars like that in his laboratory as well. I expect they're human organs in a preserving solution, probably as examples of some rare medical condition.
Miss Susato, there are some things in the world that it's perfectly fine never to know about. Ever.
Oh!
So as I said, I'm sure they're fruit liqueurs or umeboshi, aren't they?
Of course.
He's so like he's so easily unsettled. I
think I've looked at everything in here. So, I guess... Oh, this. I have not looked at this book. Look at this big, thick book here. Ah, it appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team's spending, I think. Oh? What is it? It's clear that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but... Well, one entry seems rather strange. Really? In what way? They're buying 500 scalpels every month. 500? They must be working really hard on dissecting corpses. I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special circumstances. Scalpel blades can be sharpened, too. Does seem a bit strange. 500 scalpels a month? What could they possibly be using them for? What are you doing? Ah! Ooh, what is this theme? She's got her own theme. This is clearly an important character. Sorry, we had something we wanted to ask you, but you weren't here, so you thought you'd snoop around? It's acceptable to you people from the East, is it? Well, what do you want? Lord Strongheart told us, you see, he told us, you see, that it was Goofy who examined the victim's body. That was you who examined the victim's body. Mr. Asmon's body, I mean. So we came to ask you about your findings, on Lord Strongheart's advice. Very well. If the Lord Chief Justice has given his consent, I'll tell you what our investigation revealed. But when we're done, you must leave immediately. She's giving me Lorithia vibes, which is not a good thing. If you know what game I'm talking about and what character I'm talking about. So you want to know what the forensic investigation team determined from its examination of the scene. The victim, Mr. Odie Asman, who disappeared from the experimentation stage amid an explosion, and the Mr. Asman who appeared moments later partway up the Crystal Tower, without question, one and the same person. That is the team's conclusion. But that can't be right. Yeah, there's no way you could have been in the balloon. If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out. Let's see. If two people who looked very similar to each other were involved, they could have made it appear as if one single person had switched places, couldn't they? Very true. But that was not the case in this instance. Really, I was sure that was that adds a layer to it. But what is the wax figure then? I thought somebody made a wax model of him or something. I don't know. I was very sure of that a couple streams ago, and now I really don't know what's going on. The man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared was the same person. The fingerprints at the scene make that quite evident. Ah, fingerprints. They're not yet officially recognized as forensic evidence in the British justice system, but one day they will be used as an investigative aid as a matter of course. Oh my, but that would mean that the instantaneous kinesis actually took place. So where does that leave us? It couldn't have taken. So what's going on? My team was tasked with investigating, not drawing conclusions. Instantaneous kinesis is impossible, and yet the body did move from one place to the other. This hasn't cleared up anything at all. It's made the whole thing even more of a mystery. Oh, jeez. What? She looks much younger somehow with the mat. Like, why does she look like... Oh, wait, this is a different person. Mama, what is this? Where did she spring from? I was like, why is this woman, like, smaller now? And did she call the doctor Mama? This is a lawyer, dear. Oh. Okay, now it's giving me even more. So she was Lorithia, and then you look like Melia in the like royal mask.
I don't know. Weird vibes. Weird vibes going on here. I don't like it. Tyrea and Larithia type people.
Mama? Yes. Can I cut this one up?
What? Okay, alrighty. Alrighty, racism,
I've never seen inside an Eastern person before. I want to know what it...
It!
Of course you can't. It's a live specimen.
It!
Boring.
These people, sus! I think I just had a near-death experience. We gotta get out of here. Let's leave before I'm mistaken for a corpse. Sussy. That's a bit sussy. Dr. Sus. Alright, let's go back to the experimentation stage and investigate. I didn't like that. That woman is suspicious. What? I just got permission to go up there. What are you talking about? What? Didn't she just give me permission to go up there and look around? Or Strongheart did. Strongheart gave me permission to go up there. Do I need to, like, tell you? Okay, here we go. I'm like, what's happening? Gina, we were actually hoping we could investigate the scene again.
Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like.
Oh, that's alright, is it?
Toby content. I'm gonna be playing with my new friend here.
Ah, yes, Toby. I gotta get a picture of Toby. Ah, yes, Toby. Oh, Toby the dog. Toby the blue dog. Toby the black dog.
Toby. The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume. I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind. Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze. What do you mean?
I got permission from Lord Strongheart to go up there. Stop doing this. I already talked to him.
We just recently got Ben to see Lord Strongheart. Why did we have to go through all of that text again first?
You what? You've met him?
Last time the boss was called to go and see him, he waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniveling.
Tragic.
Well, Lord Strongheart has given us permission to examine the scene, as long as we touch nothing. Oh yeah?
Honestly.
Alright then, go ahead. But if it turns out you're lying, it'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you still saying all this is above board, are you? I'm sure everything will be fine. Alright then, them's the stairs. Off you go.
Thanks, Gina. Toby the dog. Wait. No, it's not move, it's examine the sub-evidence. 23rd October. The Great Exhibition Grounds. Experimentation stage.
Oh my! So this is the machine that was used to deceive people into thinking instantaneous kinesis had taken place.
Yes, that's right. Or rather, it was the machine. It's a little worse for wear at the moment.
What extraordinary lengths Professor Harebrained went to in order to obtain the research grant.
No. The professor was tricked as well. He didn't know anything about it.
Yes, of course. It's amazing, though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British.
You're right about that. You never see such a grand deception. And now we're the ones being a little condescending. What the? What are you doing here? So, I think we're more than less done, aren't we? Shall we?
Already?
He is the Reaper. We should keep our distance. Naruto is so much more of a scaredy cat today. Yeah, we have permission from Lord Strongheart to be here. We're good.
What a terrible explosion it must have been. Even the steel girders have buckled and twisted in the blast.
And what they call the bird cage was right in the middle of it all, just here.
But look, Mr. Naruhodo, this metal grill on the floor.
Catapult? Maybe? Maybe shooting the balloon interrupted a catapult that the birdcage was supposed to launch somewhere. I still don't understand how it's. So it is the same person. But there was no, like, fake Asman. There was no imposter as Sussman. I gotta dial it back. I gotta, like, reel it in.
I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there? What is that?
It's like a little ribbon there. What is? Oh, is that the birdcage? This wasn't here yesterday.
Really? But if I'm not mistaken, it's the cage in which the victim was standing before he was beamed through the air.
That's right. Birdcage. According to what Professor Harebrain said in court, it's made of wood.
Or more precisely, Japanese cypress, I think. And despite having been in an explosion and then falling from a great height, it's relatively unharmed. A wonderfully durable construction.
Guys, I don't care about its construction. I'd understood that the forensic investigation team had taken it away yesterday to examine it. I suppose they must have brought it back here when they'd finished their work.
But sadly not with the body inside it.
No, that's right. Dun, 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 the birdcage. Added to my ever. It's the first new piece of evidence we've gotten today. It's been an hour and a half. I just finished my water. And the whole investigation segment's definitely a little longer than I anticipated. I mean, how long was the last, like, mid-trial investigation stream? I think it was like 2 hours, but I don't know. I feel like we still have at least an hour left of looking around. Maybe not, but we haven't found Enoch Drebber yet, so. Least approachable man in the world winner. 10 years in a row.
Be strong, Mr. Naruhodo.
Lord Von Zeeks? What? Well, beautiful weather we're having, isn't it? I thought I was making it quite clear I did not want to be disturbed. Apparently, you Nipponese are unequipped to read the signs. Oh, I read them. So, what are you doing here? Entry to this area is prohibited. The thing is,
The Lord Chief Justice Strongheart granted us permission to investigate, on the condition that we didn't disturb anything.
And yet you've managed to disturb me. what a comeback! I love this guy. I love all the characters. Every major recurring character is S tier. Easy. Never mind. State your business then. Come to think of it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Von Zeeks about. Not least of which is that awful case, even though it's nothing to do with this. Yeah, all the other mysteries lurking in the background of this one.
Ask away, Mr. Naruhodo. You won't know unless you try.
Your brother Clint. Ooh, he's not gonna like me asking about that. So, Clint was the name of your older brother, I understand? Yeah, Lord Von Zeeks? You Nipponese. I always have to be on guard whenever you're around. So nosy. Why did I... He would... so nosy. Sniffs the air. He just, like, gets down and he's like... And he starts, like, sniffing at us. I don't know why. I find, like, sniffing is funny. That's, like, funny to me. I could have just said he was nuts. So you've been investigating me, have you? Like a feral dog. Stop. Sniff Von Zeeks. Sniff Von Zeeks is... Never mind. I'm gonna stop that sentence right there. No, it's not like that. Alright, it is a bit like that. My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Von Zieks family. But tragically, a vicious killer took him from us. The professor, you mean? Is something funny? That's the extent of what you've discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised. Sorry? There's more to it then. Lacklustre work is very much your trademark. I've never seen lackluster spelled like that, but lacklustre work is kind of very much your trademark, isn't it? Ugh, you're too kind. You gonna tar all Nipponese with the same brush next? So tell me, what's your interest in that historic incident? As it happens, Lord Von Zieks, there's a rather curious case that's come to our attention. Are you aware of the Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxwork by any chance? I am, naturally. I believe that since last month I feature in one of the displays there, for public scorn. Of course the infamous Reaper would have to be exhibited, wouldn't he? Well, a particular waxwork has been stolen from the place and held for ransom. A particular waxwork? Which... Wait, you mean... Yes. The professor. What does this have to do? I'm very curious how this ties into our case. Or if this is set up for the next case. I don't know. Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak. I was unaware of that. He's turned as white as a sheet. Can't pursue that line further, but I guess we're talking about Enoch Drebber now. Are the police trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebber? Already? Surely that goes without saying. We're very keen to see him found as well. The trouble is we don't have much to go on aside from the description of the man we heard in court earlier. Which, according to Professor Harebrain, was of a tall, thin gentleman with straight white hair and wears a black monocle. Yeah, from the back, Courtney Scythe looked like she literally could have been Enoch Drebber. So I was just wondering, I mean, I realize it's probably not possible, but, we'd very much appreciate any more clues you can give us. Wow, Susato-san really knows how to take the bull by the horns. Fine. Why not? I love this, like, why not attitude that he has to this case. He's so much less, like, we've already graduated to, like, game 2 and 3 Edgeworth levels of, like, sure, I'll help you out, why not, I don't really care. Beast Sato is back! Ow, I just hurt my, like, head doing, like, my eyebrow hurts now. Yes, I have seen the are you talking about the masked assistant of Von Zieks? Yeah, he was in the first section of the case. I'm on the second wave of investigation now. We just met Courtney Scythe, and now we're investigating the crime scene here. And Base Sato is back! I ended the last stream, like, right before she came back. I thought we were gonna have to make a big choice, and I didn't like decisions. But then Susato robbed us of our choice. Also, his boyfriend is on trial, so he's kind of, I could tell in the courtroom that he didn't actually think the invention, the instantaneous kinesis machine, was real. He was pushing it being real, so we'd push back, and then, I realized right at the end of the last trial section when he pulled out the paperwork and was like, hey, Harebrain, will you sign the, Susato! I did that earlier. I realized when he pulled out the paperwork, like, oh, this was a long game to try to get Albert Harebrain to sign over the rights to investigate the experiment. Like, he's got a bigger play here, pretty obviously. What the? Okay, this looks like a Xenoblade villain. This looks like a Xenoblade villain. And I was already being reminded of a Xenoblade villains by earlier characters. What is going on? Though it appears he already had that black monocle at the time. Like, look at that Z hair. I'm far enough in Xenoblade 3. I'm far enough in Xenoblade 3 to have seen that character with very similar hair. Surprised you shared that with me. He just showed us a picture of of Enoch Drebber? Okay, cool. Do we get that in our evidence? We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow, which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track him down in the short time available. So why wouldn't I show you the photograph? What is it about Lord Von Zeeks? Sometimes I just can't work him out at all. He's much more elusive and hard to read than Edgeworth, for sure. It's like he's got a similar dynamic with us, but he's a little more like elusive and mysterious, which I like. The photograph of Drebber has been added to the court record. Nice. Also, Toby the Dog. Based. Based Toby the Dog. Oh, the masked man. He's back. Ah, the file I requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you. Huh? Oh yeah, she hasn't seen the masked man yet. Are you alright? Who is this man, Mr. Naruhodo? I have never seen her show like stunned like that. I wonder who the masked man is. Interesting. Lord Von Zeeks' apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Susato-san can see it too. What? The resemblance to someone? May we speak with your apprentice for a moment? With him? Why? Was that a yes to Kazuma-sama? Okay, alright. Is it actually him, though? They've been teasing it, but... They teased Kazuma being alive earlier in the stream. Kazuma? I don't believe it. Your posture, your presence, can only be... It's you. She's so much more forward than Ryanosuke is. He's like, wow, that kind of looks like Kazuma. And she's like, Kazuma! I felt something strange the very first time I encountered this cloaked figure. Isn't that like the Dame Donne guy? Dame Donne, Dame Yo, Dame Nano Yo. I need to get back to Yakuza. I played that game twice in 2021 and then twice in 2022. So, if I can do more than two... If I do more than 2 Yakuza streams this year, I beat my record. So far, I've done 0. As if I knew him. Can it really be you, Kazuma? Wait! Too late. What's going on here? Your apprentice. Alright, so we're going into this now. I didn't think we were going to see Masked Apprentice. I thought that was, like, set up for next case. I didn't think this was going to really come up here. What is your interest in my apprentice, exactly? You act as if you know the man or something. Well, stop showing me that you're playing Ultimate Chicken Horse. You're supposed to be Toby the Dog in this game. You are Toby the Dog. Since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago. Lord Strongheart introduced him to me about 3 months ago now, with instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor. But he didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. He's forgotten every last detail about himself. So it could be Kazuma and he just doesn't remember. Probably is, then. Tomorrow he will appear in court at my side. But Sholmes why would Sholmes lie about him being dead? He's to serve as my judicial assistant. Oh, shoot! He's gonna be in the courtroom? He'll be in court with us. I see my friends are playing Ultimate. It's not just... Now then, I don't own Ultimate Chicken Horse. Otherwise, maybe I'd stream it with them. Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course. Oh, yes, thank you. Jack, you said you were watching a movie? What movie were you watching? I definitely saw a reaction there. Wait,
When Susato-san called out like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve. Yeah, she was like I just like kinda was like maybe that's him. She was like certain with that like shocked face. She was like certain that was him. All Quiet on the Western Front. Oh, the new one? Was it good? Trying to watch all those Oscar nom movies before the Oscars? You'd already met that masked man, hadn't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, yesterday, in fact. Lord Von Zeke's office. I see. And if Kazuma-sama is really still alive, it means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us. I know. We're going to need to speak to him about that. You're going to have to leave now. The forensic investigation team are due to... We barely found anything here. We got the cage in our evidence, and that's it. If they find you here, it will cause problems. What sort of problems? Foreign affairs problems. Well, we could do without that. We got permission from Strongheart, though, but okay, alright, let's go. That scene was more important for showing us the masked man than it was for anything else. Gina, wait, I read this already. Why did it just flip? Yeah, Toby the Dog! Oh, goodbye, Toby the Dog. I love Detective. I know, Detective Gina's great. And I like that, Gregson seems to genuinely care about her now. Like, they have this weird father-daughter bond going on now. Very, very cool. Now let's... Where is Sholmes? Is he at home or is he at Madame Two-Spills? Let's check the... What is this? I finally managed to remember this behemoth's name. The Great Analytoscope. I don't think I was here when I left. I don't think it was here when I left for Japan, was it? Oh, is that right? Yes, because it was with the pawnbroker. Ah, of course. Oh, that's given me a wonderful idea. Okay, this is... Haha, she's gonna pawn with something. Cool. It's the violin. I guess we'll click on it, since I'm here. Mr. Sholmes' famous violin. The one he found being sold for a song at a pawnbroker. What's it called again? A shoddy something? Oh yes, the wonderful instrument in the adventures of... It's a world-famous Stradivarius. Stradi what? Stradi what? Stragivor? Are you even trying now? Okay, we'll come back to this another time, I think. I haven't really looked that much around all these shelves before. There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high, I can't help but feeling the whole lot is going to topple at any moment. Looks as though it might topple, yet it doesn't. I don't get it. As it happens, I'm quite well practiced when it comes to stacking shelves myself. Okay. Bro, why is, like, my, like, head, like, right above my eyebrow, I've got, like, a... It hurts, like, hurts. Literally, since I leaned forward and screamed, "Based Sato is back" earlier, it's been hurting. I don't know. I want to keep playing. Jack, how much more of this investigation segment do you think there is? Because I'd rather finish it than, like, stop 20 minutes before it ends, like I did with the last trial section and the investigation before that. It looks as though it might topple, and it does. And you weren't here last time, so I couldn't ask. Coleman, yes? I said yes, and then I just stare at the chat. I played this case in January 2022. You don't remember. I'm sorry. Jack, you're the expert. Jack, when does this part end? Jack! Jack, what do I do now? Jack! Jack. Oh. First of all, I really don't get it. Based on my memory, you do. Yeah, it seems like there's still a lot of clues to find. Again, we have not figured out where I almost said Enoch Drebber is. We have not figured out where he is.
I do think I should talk to Sholmes, though, since apparently he lied to us about stuff. I hate that I missed most of the stream. I mean, the first 30, 45 minutes was just talking to Susato. Like, honestly, we left the courtroom, and then we talked to Susato. Okay, why am I don't need to be here. Sholmes is not here. He's probably at the waxwork. Okay, I didn't really get the chance to tell you this. The fact that I said it on stream before, but like the fact that Sholmes is just like working at the wax museum, like I don't even like what is he even doing? I don't remember. It was something really like convoluted and stupid that he's doing there. That's like no way it makes him enough money for him to be wasting his time. I mean, now he's investigating the missing wax figure, but before, maybe the investigation of the wax figure will lead us to the Christ, my brain's breaking. Yeah, we have like maybe half an hour left. I think he's being Vegeta. Oh my god. He's here. We talked to him. He's just like, first of all, I am Vegeta. Second of all, you are not Vegeta. The third of all, you want to be Vegeta, but you cannot be Vegeta. I'd like to turn on my heels and go straight home via the confectionery. Being scared makes you crave sweets. I understand that. I was looking forward to a reunion after 6 months away, but there's no sign of Mr. Sholmes anywhere. Where is he? I want to talk to him. God dang it, Sholmes. Okay, I'm gonna examine real quick because I don't trust him to not be like lurking off screen. Ah yes, the heavy curtains in the middle of the House of Horrors. Whatever's on the other side of them, you just know it's gonna be terrifying, don't you? Like, it's so funny that Sholmes is, like, desperate enough for money to be just, like, here clowning around. I mean, now he's investigating the mixing waxwork, but it's just funny that for a while there he was just, like, begging for, like, street performing, basically. There's not enough mysteries to solve. It's not my doing, Mr. Naruhodo. It scared you? Where is Sholmes? I thought he was here. Sholmes! Where are you, Mr. Sholmes? Where do I even go now? Where haven't I been? I guess I haven't been to the prison yet. Let's go talk to our client. Oh god. What is he doing? Oh no. Ah! What's he doing? Oh my! The whole wall is full of equations. And he's still writing more now. Professor, sorry to interrupt. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, and who is this young lady? My name is Susato Mikotoba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor. Oh, if only I'd met a refined young woman like you sooner! None of this would have happened. No, that's not logical. That makes no sense at all. I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you. Weird man. Hairbrain is funny, but he's he's kind of like he's no Soseki Natsume, is all I'll say. I don't know. They're like very similar, but Soseki is more fleshed out because he's had more screen time. Like, simple as that. Oh no! 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 The whole thing, the whole miserable affair. It all happened because I've been such a complete another clod. Professor Hairbrain, what have you been working on in your cell? Oh, haha, you mean that? Oh dear, how embarrassing. I was suddenly struck by an idea, you see, and I simply had to write it down. The wall was all I had to hand. Is it some new hypothesis? Something to surpass super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, maybe? No, actually. This is my autobiography. Your autobiography? How was diddled and... No! No, you have to change the title! You have to change the title, buddy! How I was diddled and fiddled by Albert Henry! I found I can represent my odd fortunes with only odd numbers in an ambitious set of simultaneous equations! Wait, he's writing his autobiography in equations? What is happening? So it's going to be a new serial publication from next month. Part 1, An Odd Birth and Odd Upbringing. What? Okay. Do you mind if we talked a little more about the case instead of whatever this is? Oh, yes! Yes, of course. I've been working through the numbers. I was diddled! I was I can't say, like, diddled and fiddled without laughing. By admin! By that aloof engineer, Drebber! They're all sus! We're not going to have to sit through an explanation of all these equations, are we? The root of diddle square plus the inclusion of the sussman. Asman plus sus equals sussman. Alright, let's talk to him about these conversations. Mr. Sussman, let's go. Dude, do you think he set out to trick me from the very start? I'm sorry to say, that does seem likely, yes. When I first met him, he introduced himself as a wealthy financer. He looked over the paper I'd written and said my work would benefit all humanity and must be pursued. He was so enthused. He was so empathetic. But in reality, he was the mastermind of some vast criminal network, it seems. I still can't believe it. As the machine was essentially a set decoration for some stage magic. It probably didn't require a large amount of investment, actually. But the scale of it, it wasn't just some small trick, it was a very elaborate feat of deception. All young scientists are full of hope about their burgeoning ideas, full of zeal. But none of us have any money! We don't want to do research. We want to do research, sorry, but we can't afford it. Many of us take on barely legal part-time work to try and earn just a few measly pennies to carry on. To go through all of that, we'll need to be taken for a complete fool. It's too rotten to believe. It is, I agree. And that's why we have to find those responsible and bring them to justice. Mr. Asman is no more, of course, which leaves only the engineer. Mr. Enoch Drebber. Drebber the engineer. I know I'm going out of order. I feel like I always do this with these talks. I'll go back to the first one in a minute. Is he an engineer? Or a magician? Or a swindler? Because there's always one text box within a lot of these NPCs that is just like recapping what happened in the last stream. And I tend to read that one last, because it's just, I'm like, okay, It was about a year ago when Mr. Asman first brought Drebber to meet me in my laboratory. Since then, I've met him many times to discuss details about the kinesis machine. But at no point did you have any inkling that he was just an illusionist? Oh, he definitely wasn't just an illusionist. What do you mean? He was a wealth of deep scientific knowledge. There's no question that the man's a genuine scientist. It's instantly apparent in conversation. I see. He's a scientist who's just also a scam artist. That makes sense. The wretched man deceived you, Professor. It's unforgivable. We must do everything we can to find him and bring him to justice. Are there no more clues you can give us as to his whereabouts? I'm sorry. We only ever discussed the kinesis machine. Nothing else. Huh? Although, just once, I did visit his workshop. What workshop? Drebber's enormous fabrication laboratory, where he constructed my great machine. That is why... Didn't you mention this before? That's probably where he would be. Enoch Drebber's workshop. Let's get this text box out of the way first. Everything I believe in is turned on its head. My research, Mr. Asman, the kinesis machine, my hypothesis. I don't know, I've developed this weird, like, tick around the way that I say hypothesis. I'm reading for him, it's just like, hypothesis! No, it's not your fault. I wanted to protect my work, but in the end there was nothing worth protecting. It was never my intention to deceive anyone. I didn't want to trick the public. No, of course you didn't. But in court this morning I realized something. Oh? If you've done something wrong without knowing it, you've still done something wrong. Logically, it makes no difference if you were aware or not. Ignorance is a poor excuse. I'm not reading that out loud. We're going to continue with this thing. Ignorance is a poor excuse. The blame still lies with me. I'm not gonna read that out loud because it doesn't make any sense if you're not like in our very specific like friend group loop. But I know that all of you are on call screaming about whatever this is. I'll come join you in like 20 minutes. Uh, please dub it. Please dub it. Yeah, sure, we can dub it later. Yeah, okay. Zootopia abortion comic. It's happening. Yes, he knows. Oh, god damn it. It's yo, we just went from 2 to 5 viewers. You'll come in 20 minutes. Guys. My hypothesis! Does he know? Does he know? Just a necessary factor in the... Hold on. What is happening? That was just a necessary factor in the prosecution establishing its case. That, Yeah, oh, yeah. He believed in me this morning, you know. Barack did. He believed in my hypothesis. I see there's a ping in Discord. Yeah, I see it. Yes, I see. I mean... I see. The Turnabout Zootopia case. Just let me finish this. He believed in me this morning, you know. Barack did. He believed in my hypothesis. Well, I think that just was a necessary factor in the prosecution establishing its case. No, Barack wouldn't do something like that. I'm sure he genuinely believed it. Did he? I think I understand now why it was that he decided to take on the prosecution at my trial, I mean. A lot of text boxes. After the terrible accident happened, nobody would believe in my hypothesis anymore. Not the police, not the prosecution service, not any lawyers even. I feel like I dealt some kind of finishing. I mean, it didn't work. So if any other prosecutor had taken the case, if it was anyone other than Barack, I'm sure the prosecution would have declared my hypothesis a complete and utter nonsense. And in that case, you would have been declared a fraud yourself. So while he's under suspicion now and the machine didn't work, we've revealed info that doesn't make him implicated as a fraud, which would have been a fate worse than death for me. But Barack insisted that I was a proper man of science from start to finish. You think that's why he... Yeah, altruistic motivations. I know him very well. Barack's not so bad. He's an extremely kind-hearted soul. But that extremely kind-hearted soul spent all morning trying to paint you as a murderer, didn't he? Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis appears to have some flaws in it. And what about the whole Reaper side of things? How does that fit in? The kind-hearted soul. Alright, let's go to Drebber's workshop. Drebber's laboratory. So you've been to Drebber's place of work, then? Yes, just once, you understand. It was an enormous place. Plenty of room to construct the kinesis machine, you see. Where can we find it? We have to go there at once. There's a good chance that we'll find Drebber there. Well, yes, definitely, I'm sure. As in, I'm sure you're not going to want to hear this, but I have absolutely no idea where the workshop is at all. I'm so sorry! It was more than half, I was more than half expecting that. You see, I was blindfolded in the carriage the entire way there. He blindfolded you? He wasn't taking any... And you didn't think that was suspicious? The place was incredible, the pinnacle of modern engineering. Even the oil he used was the very best, a special French machine oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Ah, the indescribable scent of that imported oil. Sus. Yes, extremely. No, this guy's sus. Enoch Dreber is like sussy scam artist scientist, man. That's what's going on here. He basically scammed this guy into, like, building a fake invention. Perfumers across the world should forget their secret formulae and use that instead. What do you think, Miss Susato? Eau de machine for your next birthday? I've never used any kind of perfume, Mr. Naruhodo, and I'm not sure I'd like to start with that. I don't suppose you know even part of the workshop's address, Professor? You don't have a business card for Mr. Dreber, for example? The man was clearly very cautious, Miss Susato. I'm sure he never would have... Ah! Yes, I do! He gave me his business card once. It's right here, look! Why, he's so, like, I have to, like, pry information out of him just because he's, like... I don't know, dumb? He's not dumb, but, like... Enoch Dreber, engineer. I'm afraid that's all it says. There's no address. No. Oh well. Can't say I'm surprised. Still, this could be useful. Alright, so that's what? The second piece of evidence we've gotten? Hold on. Second new piece of evidence? No, third new piece of evidence. Let's check this. I haven't actually looked at this all the way around yet. Point of impact down here. Ah, look here, Miss Susato. Oh yes, the wood's cracked and broken a little. Suppose because it fell from such a height? Yes, from the height at which the balloon was flying, down into the crystal tower below. A fall of about 30 feet, or 9 meters, leaving the man inside tragically dead. Okay. What about this part? Is this also... There was another clickable spot here, I thought. I think it's just the one click. Okay, yeah. Sometimes there's like a secret clue. Like this, we've got a card. Check the back. Yeah, there's always something on the back. Always. This dark smudge here. I think perhaps it's machine oil. Yes, possibly. Professor Harebrained mentioned something about the oil Mr. Dreber uses, didn't he? Maybe we can trace the oil and figure out where his lab is from there? I mean, I don't think we could do that alone, but... It doesn't appear to have any scent at all. Don't worry, I expect it's just because there's such a tiny amount. Okay. I feel like we might be able to show this to somebody and they could use it to find his workshop. I don't know. Find the workshop of this, like, anime villain. Look, that's Enoch Dreber, Kirk. If you're still here. That's Enoch Dreber. Incredibly sus-looking, like, monocle-wearing individual. Monocle-wearing characters are either, like, funny Baron types or evil mastermind, like, schemer. They're, yeah. I think we've, wait, do we have anything to present to you? This is Dreber. You recognize him? Oh, yes! That's just what I need to prove my hypothesis! No, it has nothing to do with your hypothesis. Okay, alright, this is not... Alright, let's go somewhere else. Wonder if the evidence we were given by Professor Harebrained will come in useful somewhere. Yeah. Ooh, maybe we can take the thing with the oil to the forensics laboratory and have the Courtney Scythe lady, like, look at it. So, what are you doing at the moment, Doctor? Keeping a close eye on things so no impertinent Easterners think they can look around my office. This is the lady, Jack, that I was saying was giving me... She was giving me Lorithia vibes. I don't like it. Dr. Sus over here. Another sus doctor. I've a lot of sussy bacas. I don't know. Is this where I don't think I can show you this. Because I can't present anything to you unless we're talking, and she doesn't want to talk to me, so... Like, present isn't an option, so... I guess we're not going to do that. Are we sure we've asked everything we need to, mister? Maybe here? Hey! Look at this car! About this, Gina. Yeah, oh right, she can't read. I only know A to E, so if it ain't too much bleeding trouble... actually, Gina, it's the back of the card. Okay, wait, no, this isn't filler dialogue. How come? There's just a dirty old smudge on the back, that's all. It turns out this is very high quality French machine oil. It has a very particular scent, apparently. You don't say? Let's have a whiff then. You sure? I don't smell nothing. No, we didn't mean that you should smell. Oh, God, this is not helpful. Alright, you mean Toby. Toby the dog! Toby the dog, let's go! And Toby the dog will lead us to victory. Woof! His sense of smell is so good he can track people over the oceans, can't he? Tell Toby to get back in here. Professor Harebrain informs us to get back in chat. Professor Harebrain informs us that this oil is unique to Mr. Drebber's workshop. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Sniff, sniff, sniff. I think he's picked up a scent. So you mean, if he follows the scent of this oil, Toby could lead us directly to that dodgy cove's workshop? Toby is crucial to the plot! Let's go! Let's go! Alright then, we'll give it a go. We'll just battle that. What? Wait, what did you... He wants to pickpocket always a pick. If I can lead everyone to Drebber's workshop, I'll be the boss's boss before next week. Oh, yes, Gina. I'm sure you'll be promoted. Poor Gregson. Right then, Odo. Leave it to me. Sorry? We're gonna get going after that dodgy engineer cove right this minute. Oh, but hang on. Someone's supposed to be on guard duty here all the time. I'm afraid we can't help. We need to get on our investigation as well, Gina. Oh, right. Well, never mind. It ain't gonna be me what gets it in the neck, it'll be the boss. Let's go, Detective Gina and Toby the dog! Ready, Toby? Got that oil scent, have ya? Come on then, boy. See you later. Are we going with her? We should probably go with her. I do hope the scent of that oil leads them to that swindler's workshop. Yes, I hope so too. Ideally before the dog swims across the Chanel to France. Oh, because it's French oil, yeah. Well, I think we've done all the investigating we can here for now. If we could just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Drebber. I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down. Now then, do you think we ought to try to speak with Mr. Sholmes? Yeah, let's go find Sholmes. Maybe he'll actually, yeah, I guess now he'll actually be at Madame Two-Spool's. Cool. Let's go talk to him, and then I'll probably cut stream. I think that's a good time to end it. Whether that leads into the trial or not. I don't know if we're actually going to get to investigate Drebber's workshop, or if that's just, like, they're going to find Drebber off camera there, and then bring him in. Here we are again at the House of Horrors. I'm afraid I haven't gotten used to this place yet. We gotta have a Sholmes appearance once every stream, so we'll do that part, and then we'll cut it for the night. I'd still like to turn on my heels and go straight home, via the confectionery, of course. Sato-san is really after something sweet today, isn't she? Eek! Look, Mr. Naruhodo, look at that waxwork. I'm quite sure... Yeah, okay, yeah, what? Why is he doing... I thought he was investigating. What is he doing right now? Oh, I think you'll find... Oh, hello! Ah, the friend of my dedicated employee. Oh, yes. Hello again, Mommy. I mean, it's Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Yes, that. I must say, I am quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel. My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs. You don't mean... Yes. The mystery is solved already. Wow. Mr. Sholmes can really engage his brain when he's hungry enough.
So as you can see, he has returned to his habitual duties.
Did she, like, ask him to do this, or did he come up with this idea and is just doing this? Because, like his street performing in her wax exhibits as himself is so, like, weird. Like, I don't... It's funny, though. Oh, no. Not a, like, lips... Oh, God.
Oh, Luz, do not disturb.
This is... I am horny. Horny on main right now. Horny on stream. Poor Susato-san. She looks very perplexed. Okay, what are we doing? Where's Sholmes? What are you... I didn't mean to click that. Okay, well, she's gone now. No more witch girl.
We really do need to speak with Mr. Sholmes, and I am longing to say hello again. But where is he?
I think you might find he's right there. Indeed, my dear fellows, it is I, the world-famous great detective and waxwork, Herlock Sholmes.
Huh?
Susato-san! Susato-san! Oh, he jump-scared her. He startled her.
My most humble apologies. I thought I'd died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment. Via London.
My dear madam, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free deduction at some point. Okay.
I don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes?
Merely a secret identity, you understand? That the case is largely solved now.
Largely solved?
We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume? Much easier case than mine. Indeed we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was as easy as proverbial pie. Though I confess, I'm yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise. Or any food so far today, for that matter. Ugh, I'm very hungry. Nice sound effect. That stomach rumble echoed around the whole museum. So how did you manage to solve it so quickly? Ah, well, do remember I said it was largely solved. Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprit. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone?
Oh yes, it's a most modern invention, allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away. In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as yet.
This morning a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned. So we still don't know how the waxwork stuff connects to the main case. I had a theory about how it would connect, and I was pretty certain about my theory, and it's ended up just not being true. So, I don't know how any of this matters at all. Just between you and I, it would appear the culprit had always intended to return the stolen waxwork in any event.
Oh, but I thought whoever was... So maybe they needed it for something? Something related to another case? I don't know. I think perhaps the ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive.
Ah, they did need it for something else. Maybe something related to... Maybe that's how it connects to our case? Whatever they needed it for?
Does that not mean your negotiating was entirely unnecessary?
A fact that I must ask you to keep from Madame Two-Spells at all costs. Please. A hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street after all. Poor Iris. I have no money.
Now then, do I sense that you have some business with this great waxwork?
I would like to see the waxwork. Wait, oh right, shoot, we needed to talk to him about Kazuma's death. Hold on.
Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us?
My dear Mr. Naruhodo, stay that piercing stare. What is this about?
Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain aboard the steamship, your words were very clear.
So then, let us unravel this mystery, and discover what events led to this curious murder.
You told us that it was murder, and you examined Kazuma-sama's body.
Indeed, and wherein lies the problem? We met him earlier today. The victim, Kazuma Asogi. You're quite sure?
He was wearing some sort of mask and was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure it was Kazuma-sama.
You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead. Well, I can only assume I was swept up in the murderous atmosphere of the moment. But the fellow wasn't dead at all. Priceless. Bro, we thought our friend was dead, bro. It's not funny, bro. I don't suppose that performance would pass muster, would it, Miss Naruhodo? No. Even I'm not so callous to laugh at that. I could believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake, but not you, Mr. Schultz. I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. Huh. Please, Mr. Sholmes. Tomorrow in court, you will find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that is all I can say. Huh. He's setting the stage hard. Why would he lie about... Great detectives are wont to lie. But Sholmes is my favorite character. What do you mean I can't trust him? What do you mean he's sus? He's not sus. He's a crewmate. We're in the process of trying to track somebody down.
Oh? Yes, a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. He's the swindler who duped Professor Harebrain and the engineer who built the kinesis machine.
A swindler and an engineer. Quite the modern man. He also seems to be a conjurer of sorts, too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. But we have so few clues to go on, that's the trouble. Do you have any good ideas? I have no data yet. It is a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance, at least, I may be in a better position to help. Well, we have a photo, so... As soon as you find any clue, I will give it my all. Alright. Let me present you the photo, then. Oh, Gina took the card. That's right. I was like, why isn't it in my evidence? Mr. Sholmes, would you cast your eyes over this photographic print? The amount of different ways we've written, look at this photograph, without writing, look at this photograph.
It's of Mr. Enoch Drebber, the face of the engineer we seek.
The imposter's face! Below his... Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same. What? This guy looks like an anime villain. I don't... So looking at the photograph won't be particularly instructive. Are you alright, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, yes. Forgive me. Very interesting. This, very interesting indeed.
What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You've turned quite pale all of a sudden.
I have a suggestion, Mr. Naruhodo. Would you indulge me?
Well, what is it?
As I explained to you when we arrived, the missing waxwork has been returned, and I personally reinstalled it in the exhibit from which it was taken, behind those thick curtains. Oh yes, the Professor exhibit, isn't it? Would you like to see it? For a mere 5 shillings. Is the Professor waxwork gonna look like the photo we just showed him? This is a weird thing for him to bring up unprompted. The price is a very reasonable 5 shillings. Oh my god. Are you being serious, Mr. Schultz? Surely you need only look at my expression to ascertain if this is seriousness or silliness. It's not a bit. I'm laughing, but it's not a bit. I need money, please.
Very well, it couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings.
Gratefully received. So, the special exhibit awaits behind the curtain. I invite you to peruse it at your leisure. Well, this is going to be a reveal for sure. What face that we've seen before is going to look like is this going to be? Okay, they zoomed in like that we were gonna see it, and then we have to click examine and look at it.
Ah, we could ask Gina to retrieve our money back for us.
Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detectives. Is this what? Diddling? What? What do you mean diddling detectives, huh? What is Sholmes doing? 23rd October. Why are we what is happening? Like, what is it we cutting away? Oh, okay. Oh no, we're just looking at the...
Oh dear. I felt a shiver run down my spine as soon as we walked in here.
Miss Susato. I say we turn... This is much bigger than it was before.
We certainly can't do that. We've paid 5 shillings already.
True. Actually, now I'm looking a little more closely. We've paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. The nerve of the great diddling detective is far more terrifying than anything else in this place. The case was largely solved, so the head is missing. Interesting. Mr. Sholmes heavily implied there'd be a clue about the engineer. Chuck, I'm coming! You... No, but... Hold on. Let's look at... okay. I'm being demanded. I'm being summoned. Please look. Oh. You drew Lubba. Okay, alright. I'm being summoned. So I think we'll investigate this little room next time. Toby the dog in the game is helping us find the bad guy's secret lab. So that's cool. I'm drunk, sorry. That's okay. Toby! Let's go! Toby the dog! Alright, I think that's actually a good place to end because it's been about 2.5 hours. Hopefully on the next stream, we will come back next time if you want to see more Toby the dog content. Hopefully. And maybe also Toby dog helping! And also perhaps, I don't know, I'm really into this plot. I might play gamer stream. I might play more tomorrow. I really want to be honest. I'm pretty hooked. This is a really good case, and it's much more... I don't know, it's just much more in depth than I expected. It's more than just the funny, silly case that the title suggests. So yeah, great stream, everyone. I'll probably be back tomorrow. I want to play again at some point this week. I don't want to wait another week. We could still end up waiting another week, but I don't want to wait another week. I'm very into it. So, yeah, let me... Did I save? I did save, right? I like forget that I... Let's exit game and just save that way. Yes. Alright, well, good stream, everybody. Let's hit that 2-hour, 30-minute mark. 5, 4. This joke isn't going to work when I, like, cut out in the YouTube VOD where I took a water break. Whatever. We hit 2.5 hours! Arrivederci!